Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of the new season of Battle Bros. It's a little rushed together, but we've been plagued with technical difficulties all morning. Morning for me, night for Cheese and Savage. And as you can see, we're only on our Battle Bros kind of title now because we actually have lost Cheese. So grab some paints, grab a model, grab some glue, whatever you need to get stuck in with some hobby. Sit down, relax, and we'll hopefully entertain you for the next about an hour. How you doing today, Savage?
Yeah, I'm good. Hanging in there. Day off today. It's good. Did nothing. Had a game. So, yeah.
There we go. I got us up. That counts. Yeah, I mean, I just woke up 4 hours ago. We played some what's it called, Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And then got work in a couple hours. So
That's always fun.
well, I just came off 2 days, but I could go for a third if they were gonna let me.
I could go for a whole week. I just had a week off not long ago. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So yeah. So I kind of don't know what to say because I want to be like, well, what have you done, kind of in the hobby in the week? But anyone that watches the Hammer knows that. You got
Well, me and Cheese had a game today. We had 2,000 points. I had my Chaos against Space Wolves.
How'd that go?
It was pretty close until the end, and then he just got a couple of lucky shots and wiped my stuff off the objectives, which he was sitting on one. There was 3 objectives, and he was sitting on one, and then he managed to kill my guys on another one and blew up the Defiler that was on another one, because you were playing Big Guns Never Tire, so you had your heavy supports could
capture.
were a scoring unit. Yeah.
Yeah. You got
So
got anything to work on today during the?
I do. I got my pre-heresy Thousand Suns Land Raider, so we given that a finish up some painting on that. I got the treads and just some other little bits to pick out here and there.
Right. Yeah, my goal was to finish the War Machine starter box by this episode, but that didn't happen, so maybe I'll work on him. So, work on the Ironclad. But before we get into that, let's announce the winner, I guess, for who no one knows apart from the winner. That's I did contact them. But so the winner was Eternal High Fives for All. I think that's the name of the Tumblr user who won, and he wanted some Eldar, so a Farseer and some jet bikes. So that is definitely what we gonna get that. So never fair if you did not win, because we will be doing giveaways here and there. So there we go. Oh, we can go back to our original scene now.
Hello?
Hello, we're in the middle of a show. We started without you.
Oh, alright. Yeah, I had to restart, so...
Fair enough. Well, right now you're just loading, but we've announced the winner already, and that's about it. But for those of you who don't know, who did not watch not the last episode, was about 2 weeks ago, episode of the Hammer. This is Cheese.
Yep.
He's the new Battle Bro, joining Savage and myself. You may want to restart your camera, just click it on and off, just to see if that'll fix the loading problem.
For me?
Yeah, for you, because you're just loading.
I can't switch my camera on and off, I don't think. It's the laptop.
No, like through the Skype. Oh no, well, you came back just as... Now we're back to loading. Anyway, there we go. Wave hi to everyone. They can see you now. Okay.
Hi, guys.
So unlike Savage and myself, who don't do a show every week and you know update everyone what we're doing, what have you been up to? I'm sure you've been working on your Space Wolves.
Not much work because I'm back to uni. Not I'd like to do, but mainly I've just had issues with like that plastic glue at the moment. So all my shit's starting to fall apart. So it's all just repairs. But I'm hoping to get some of that plastic cement stuff,
Yep.
and then hopefully I'll progress again.
Well, like,
But like I'm currently converting a dreadnought just in spare time. So hopefully that works.
well, yeah, I finished conversion for Hellbrute today. My Plague Brute for a commission. So
Yeah. Shit.
that's what I did today, and I also painted up 10 Death Corps today. So that's what I've done in just today. So well, yesterday, I guess technically. Yeah, so we announced the winner, which is Eternal High Fives for All, who won a Farsia and a squad of Eldar jet bikes, brought by Battle Bros, painted by Toxic Painting. Yeah. So, Cheese, you going to be working on anything during the show?
Yeah, that dreadnought. So trying to piece him together at the moment.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, Savage, you brought some things to the table today. You want to talk about converting, like a converted army.
Yes.
And how you're having trouble with, what's the word for it?
Adding.
Yeah, adding to a already converted, heavily converted army. So, why don't you explain that a little bit? I'll bring up a picture of the army that you're talking about.
Okay, well, it is a pre-heresy Thousand Sons army, which goes off the Grey Knights Codex. And I bought it off Toxic before I moved to America. And it's got 20 normal Marines with 2 rhinos and 8, I'm pretty sure, 8 Terminators and a Land Raider.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8 Terminators and a Land Raider. And it's both the Rhino and the Land Raider are actual original Games Workshop models. Like
Rogue Trader.
first. Yeah. And there's like 1 or 2 like Rogue Trader Marines.
Yeah, there's a bunch. Like, even some of them are just their legs, and they have like torsos, but they have like regular arms. And there's some Forge World stuff in there. There's just a bunch of good stuff in there.
Yeah. And yeah, now the hard part is to try and add stuff onto there. Because I played a few games with them, and it's a good army, but it just needs a bit more, because it's just got like your basic army at the moment. There's nothing really. Like, I've used some Storm Ravens, which I borrowed from my Blood Angels army and stuff, to add into there, but there's nothing really.
Yeah, because it's a Grey Knight army basically.
Yeah.
But all you have is your what do you call them? Like your infantry.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot you can really do with it. And then people have probably seen my Adeptus Mechanicus Tyranids. It's the same. I mean, that's more of a complete army. It's like rocking in it over 2,000 points. But you get the same problem. Like, if you want to add to it and you're not the original creator, you really have no idea where to start. Not to mention, you go from having to buy like $50 worth of models to $100 just on the bits.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets not. And I mean, the army that I had that was like fully converted, It actually had custom cut bases, so they were made. You're never going to find someone to make that unless you can find the original person that made those custom cut bases.
Yeah.
I mean, Cheese, you're a big converter, and you probably wouldn't see that as a problem. But any thoughts on buying an army that is so heavily converted that it could be troublesome adding to it?
Well, yeah, I guess like you'd have to really think about that in purchasing it. If like think about whether like this is a complete army to you, and like because I mean, if you've got enough there, and like apart from curiosity, you can play the army without having to add anything, then it should be fine. But I mean, if you've got something that you really, it is hard to replicate. I'd like personally, like I haven't really tried this or anything, but I'd probably try and go with what you had and try and replicate that. So maybe they have some of the bases and double them up.
Right.
So like if you could like mold them or something, and like some of the pieces just like if you've got bits from vehicles that were unique,
So
try and
press mold
copy
them,
those bits. Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to, because that Grey Knight's army, it did start off a lot bigger than what it originally was.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it did have two Contemptor dreadnoughts that were meant to. They didn't have arms, but they were meant to just get the autocannon arms, and they were going to be what are they called? Cyphelman dreads, what people call them. Two twin-link autocannons with Cybold ammo, and that's what they were meant to be. But we got the army, and none of us. I brought it, and then I didn't even really play it a lot. It was just kind of like, oh my god, that looks good, let's buy it. And then I didn't play it, and then Savage brought it from me. Well, first I think I sold him just one of the dreadnoughts out of it, and then I sold it to him, but I took one of the dreadnoughts out of it. So it would have been a lot more complete when you're looking at a squad of Terminators, an HQ. It had 2 Rhinos, so you can have like 2 10-man squads and Rhinos. Did I mention the Land Raider?
I don't think so.
No.
The Land Raider, and then you got the 2 dreadnoughts, and that's a little bit more complete. You can use that as an army. It's not going to be extraordinary, but you can still use that.
Yeah.
It really is a challenge. I mean, the one that I brought with my Adeptus Mechanicus Nids, that had won tournaments before, so I didn't really have a problem with the feeling that it wasn't complete. The only problem I had was that it let's say I wanted to have what are they called, Tervigons? The things that spawn more stuff. I couldn't really do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you were actually thinking of making a conversion for it? For that army?
I was thinking about converting up a Dread Knight. I'm just trying to figure out what to kind of use, because my original thought was to just take the Dread Knight and then get the Necro Sphinx from Tomb Kings in the fantasy range and just kind of mash that together. Because that's like the whole kind of like way that it's been done so far, is there's a lot of like Tomb Kings kind of bits on the vehicles and stuff. So keep with that theme. And then I thought about maybe instead of getting the Dread Knight, using the Forge World Decimator.
And we actually have some pictures of that. Cheese, are you on the live stream or?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So you're gonna have to just imagine along with us.
Ah.
My live stream's not working very well. Everyone's having internet problems.
It's terrible today. So the one that I have up now is the Decimator fighting a Contemptor. Savage, I'll let you I guess, explain the model and just explain the decimator as well.
So I'm talking about like that particular, like the one from the eBay.
Yeah,
That's all.
anything really. Yeah.
Yeah, that one that's up now. Just found that on eBay just before the show started, and I'm pretty sure it's in a White Dwarf in like the section where they show off like golden demons and stuff like that. I think someone's just replicated.
Yeah, the legs
This
are a bit
one.
different from it.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought that would look cool, and the price that it was for me was there's only $20 difference between buying that from eBay and buying just the model from Forge World by itself without the arms on it.
And they're pinned on the base, yes.
Yeah, they're pinned on the base, so I could take off the Relic Contemptor and use that as a separate one. And then, but it doesn't do anything for my Grey Knights army, but I'd have a Contemptor, and then I could probably...
Why wouldn't it do anything for your Grey Knights army?
Well, I mean, I could use the Relic Contemptor.
You could use the Decimator too, though, couldn't you?
I could, but it'd be a little bit tough to convert being already put together. Whereas, like, the Relic Contemptor, it doesn't really need anything added to it.
Right. So, next we have a... What do we got next? This was kind of your idea of what you were going to go with your conversion, yes? It's
I am
the
not...
one with the wolf on the shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of my... Like, my idea of how I would convert it up is use, like, just the body of the Decimator and then add the arms.
Yeah. So it's armed with the equipment of a whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Dread Knight.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's a bit weird that all of a sudden you like Grey Knights.
I know, it is weird. I don't even know what happened.
Jeez, do you think that's weird as well? I mean, have you heard Savage basically, say till... Yeah, he basically says it all the time that he doesn't like Grey Knights, they're boring, he's not going to play them.
Yeah, no. During a battle, he'll be winning and complain that he's winning because he just doesn't like the way the troops are going.
I don't know, I like them, but at the same time, I don't like how they play. I think that's my biggest problem, is the way that they play.
How do they play?
I don't know. They just seem overpowered.
How though? Have you won with them yet?
I'm pretty sure I won. No, maybe, I don't know. Did I win?
I don't think so in the end. Like they come on far, like strong at the start, but like I think it's just the list at the moment because you've only got that basic list.
Yeah.
See, because like I've versed, Grey Knights a fair bit, and they're strong, but it's like anything, Terminators are strong too, but taking a whole Terminator army isn't necessarily the best thing to do.
No.
It's I don't know. I don't think there's really anything wrong with them. I think
my problem just originally started by just jumping on the bandwagon of everyone doesn't like Grey Knights.
Probably.
And then having a friend that plays Grey Knights and just...
And it's just the worst type of player. Grey Knight player.
Like, just made, like, the cheesiest lists, and I think that's where all my hatred came from, is just, like, the lists that I had to play against Grey Knights.
I've had... one Grey Knight army? Yeah, that one that was like the Forgotten Knights.
Yeah.
I played him like once, and then I had them as allies in my Inquisition Imperial Guard force, and I really liked them as allies, because like especially for Imperial Guard, because you have your just giant blobs of infantry that the best thing that they can do is kind of die. But then you also have like a small unit of Terminators running around that your opponent has to worry about. So I really enjoy taking them as allies.
Yeah, I think they worked really well, especially with the with Imperial Guard, because you had like your heavy hitting Grey Knights units.
Yeah,
They
you
would
had some
march
like
forward.
melee stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I had the Dread Knight that could do melee, so you couldn't just be like, oh well, I'm versing Imperial Guard. I'm not gonna have to worry about close combat.
yeah, it definitely added to it when we played.
Yeah. Cheese. Thoughts on Grey Knights?
On Grey Knights in general.
Yeah, just Grey Knights in general. The way they play, the way they're kind of portrayed.
Like I don't mind it. The whole idea that like I'm not sure if this is actually it, but like that you should be using less models. I suppose like they are tougher units,
Yeah.
but like I don't mind it. You have to be careful because like it does get pretty cheesy pretty quickly, and if
Yeah.
it's not cheesy, it does go to shit because they are quite expensive, like per model.
Right.
But like I really don't have that much experience with them, but like they're all right, and like if you add some characters to them, I'd imagine that'd be fun to play. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't really have too much of a problem with them. I find them. I like their idea. You know, they're the elite kind of. They're a space marine kind of thing.
The best of the best of the best, sir.
Pretty much. You know, they're expensive, but they can do a lot. Like what people don't realize that they see their Grey Knights and they see them with, you know, everyone has like a force weapon basically, and you think, well, I'm a close combat army. Well, no, you're not. Grey Knights, I find are more of a shooting army. I don't know if you find it that way, but you know, they've only got regular guys only have 1 attack. 2 attacks on the charge.
Yeah.
Is there any close combat based army that you can think of that has that few attacks on the charge?
No.
Like think of every close combat army that you can think of, and how many attacks are they usually attacking with? Like 2 minimum on
Yeah.
the charge, 3, 4, even 5.
Yeah.
Look at like Berserkers in our game today. They're getting 4 attacks on the charge and just dishing out wounds.
Yeah, so Grey Knights really, I find, are a mid-range shooting army, because they all have Storm Bolters, which are, you know, it's an amazing gun, 2 shots at 24-inch range. AP 5, Strength 4, it's nothing insanely good, but it's a nice little shot. You know, you got a squad of 10, you're shooting 20 shots at 24-inch range. I like that better than the idea of close combating with them.
Yeah. I guess they're kind of like pretty much just like Space Marines, but whereas they're like an all-rounder.
Yeah, they can close combat. They can. Yeah, I mean that's. Look at because we mentioned the words like cheese when we're talking about Grey Knights. What actually units would you say are cheesy?
Probably the Dread Knight. Like, it's not that bad. Like, I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of points for what it is. But some of the stuff it can do is pretty insane.
Yeah, I would say he'd be borderline cheesy, but more in like the 5th edition than
Yeah, I think 5th edition really lent its hand to Grey Knights more than 6th.
Yeah, I mean, because everyone has that big guy now.
Yeah.
Cheese, tell us what's cheese about Grey Knights.
I reckon it is just like with any army, I guess, rolling with one thing. So like if you have a las cannon, you have 9 las cannons. Like if you have it's not the Dread Knight, it's the fact that you've got 3 Dread Knights.
So spam.
Yeah, so like spam, because it is quite easy to spam something in an army like that because you do feel kind of limited on what they have.
Yeah.
So like if you like the Terminators, you spam the Terminators and just end up with 20.
Right. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, spam is the easiest way to get to a cheesy list, I find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, it's a fine line between a cheesy list and a horrible list. Because let's look back at that Basilisk Chaos like Iron Warriors one that you did. Well, you had two Defilers, 3 Basilisks as allies in a squad, and you lost 2 straight games in a row. Even though everyone that looked at it would be like, "Yeah, that's a cheesy list," and then you lost, 2 games in a row with it.
Yeah, anything that you spam's kind of a one-trick pony. Like you've got that one chance to make it, otherwise you're fucked pretty much.
Yeah, it's
Like you need to dish out the damage.
And then as soon as people realize that's how you're gonna play, they're gonna counter you. They're gonna come back with, you bring 3 Dread Knights, they're gonna bring a bunch of las cannons. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, allies. Sorry, I'm not really like 6th edition is kind of still very, very new to me, but like allies are a bigger thing now, right?
Well, allies are a thing now. They really weren't too much of a thing before.
Yeah. Because like going back on the topic of converting those armies you guys purchased, would allies be considerable? Like, if you can't really replicate the army that you got, would you want to replicate maybe
an ally army of it?
Yeah, an ally army that suits the theme, so you can get kind of like, you can give it a different edge that you can do.
Yeah.
And it won't look too out of place because they are just allies.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. It makes sense for Savage, not so much for my one, because my one's Tyranids, and Tyranids can't get allies.
Yeah, Tyranids is an issue.
But, the Grey Knight one, it does, because you could easily, I mean, it's a pre-heresy army, you could easily make an Imperial Guard army, from whatever, what do they call them? Because they have, like, the whole expedition fleet kind of,
Yeah.
So you could easily do an Imperial Guard kind of army to go along with them.
Because, like the style is probably the hardest thing to get. Like, you can get the basics of having models that are old, but that style just, like, might not just come off with your conversions, even if you're using the same bits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think like that if you are adding something to like a custom army, the hardest thing is picking that something that you want, because you're gonna want it to be something that you're gonna use in majority of your games, just so all that time and money doesn't go to waste. Yeah. Like, 'cause you don't want to go out and spend like $150 on one unit and then, spend like 6+ hours converting it all up and then finding out that it doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh shit. It's it's not as good as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it really kind of goes to any army that you put conversion work into, but it's, I think, a cool ally for your Thousand Sons, and like, this is probably gonna get shit for, but I think a cool ally would be Space Wolves. Some pre-heresy Space Wolves team with some pre-heresy Thousand Sons, like before they fought each other. just for the that'd be pretty cool.
Space Wolves fucking fought with everyone.
Space Wolves would be a pretty easy like army to kind of do pre-heresy as well.
Any Space Marine army is going to be really easy to do pre-heresy now, thanks to Forge World and...
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, if you do like Space Wolves, you need even less stuff, because you're already going to be using some of the stuff from the Games Workshop line.
Yeah, like you just buy like a couple, like, depends on how big you're going, Like you buy a couple of packs of like Grey Hunters, and then a couple of packs of like the pre-heresy stuff from Forge World,
Yeah.
and you just mix that in all together.
I was actually gonna do that, but because that would work. You'd only need like a squad of 5 Forge World pre-heresy guys could make 10 if you mix them with the regular kit, the Space Wolf kit that Games Workshop sells.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to go like legs on one guy, and then another guy can have a torso, and yeah.
Yeah, it'd be the same as like what I did with my Blood Angels, where I just went
Yeah.
like half Death Company.
I think another one would be Emperor's Children, because the Emperor's Children, they were like the first one to wear kind of like the eagle across the Aquila across their chest. And
Yeah.
like that's available in the plastic kits, so you could like just use plastic kit torsos and then just use the legs.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do.
I really want a pre-heresy army, but it's not cheap.
It really isn't.
Cheese, you ever thought about going pre-heresy instead of just regular post-heresy?
Like, I think a lot of the hype about it at the moment kind of has put me off, because like you want your army to stand out, and if
Be
everyone's
different.
doing pre-heresy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to my Thousand Sons as well. It's like I bought them, and then only a couple months later they came out with the Horus Heresy, or the Horus Heresy Forge World stuff. And you're like, wow, my stuff's like all old and stuff, and then they come out with all that stuff, and you're like, oh.
Yours are a little bit different though, because they're like they're the
they still
Scarab
got
occult
their-
kind of thing.
Yeah, they still got there.
Well, think about this. I spent $60 on a Fulgur model, and now Forge World has one that's even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. Before we get too far away from Grey Knights, because I know this is going to be a good conversation, and by good I mean terrible, but the something I kind of wanted to bring up about the Dread Knight. I know that Savage says it should be a walker, it should be a vehicle, and I say no, it's fine being a monstrous creature. Cheese, your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, why do you guys want it the way you guys want it? Like, why do you want it to be a monstrous creature? Why do you want it to be a walker?
I don't want it to be a monster. I'm not saying I want it to be a monstrous creature. I just think it works the way it does, and personally, I think like I can see why it's a monstrous creature, because the way that I see it is that the Dread Knight is kind of just a suit of armor kind of thing. Like it's the the Terminator is getting into the Dread Knight, and it's just increasing his stats. So he's bringing him up to he's increasing his wounds by wearing that Dread Knight suit.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it, with even like the Riptide and the Wraith Knight. And it's the same type of thing with Thunderwolf Cavalry, kinda. I mean, I know it's not like a mechanical suit or anything, but it's the same kind of thing. Like, you give that Thunderwolf to a guy and it increases his stats. At least that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
The title for those stats actually makes sense, because they're still beast cavalry, or beasts or cavalry.
Right, but I was just giving an example. But
Yeah.
What's your...
It doesn't look like a monstrous creature at all. Like, there's nothing creature-like about it. It is a vehicle that they wear. Like
like a suit of armor?
Yeah, a suit of armor that they get into and increase its stats. That's the same thing that a Dreadnought does to a Space Marine.
Yeah, so I guess it isn't that different to a Dreadnought.
It's...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you have dreadnoughts, which takes a space marine and puts it into that armor, and it becomes a walker. But then you put a living Terminator into the same kind of thing, and it makes it
Well,
a
first
monstrous creature.
the dreadnought's enclosed. Like there's not an actual space marine in there. He's basically just a torso, like on there. The dread knight is open. You can see the guy hanging on the front. He's getting into this. I mean, you look at a suit of power armor. You could say, well, that should be a vehicle as well, because the space marine's getting inside a power armor and it's increasing everything around him. It has a mechanical pack on his back that's, he's got gears and stuff to work the power armor.
Yeah, but that's different to what you were saying with the Dread Knight, is because he's getting into it's the exact same thing as but okay.
But okay, let's look at it game wise though. Do you think it would be how would game wise looking at it? You think it would change an awful lot if he was a vehicle?
Not really.
I'd say I reckon the monstrous creature thing does fit a little bit more, just because as much as it is a vehicle or a suit of armor or anything non-biological add-on kind of thing, it's probably a better way to illustrate its agility, I suppose. A dreadnought is the same sort of thing, but it's not going to have anything near just by looks anyway. The dreadnought's got stubby legs. It doesn't really, not really designed to move too much, and then the dread knight has got quite long legs. It's that tall, and it is pretty light on armor. So
yeah, I can see it from both ways, but I think personally it just works better as a monstrous creature rules wise. Maybe they could have changed, because I think the biggest problem is that it just is because it says monstrous creature. If it said something else
that's my
that kept the same rules. So your biggest gripe is is schematics and kind of
it's called a monstrous creature, but it's not. But then you look at a demon prince, that's called a monstrous creature. You would think, that's a monstrous creature. You look at a trigon, that's a monstrous creature. And then what really bugged me even more was when they came out with the Chaos Codex and they have a Mauler Fiend, and that is classed as a walker, but it's more monstrous creature vehicle than a Dread Knight. Or
I wouldn't say that. I would say that one looks more walker. I mean, I don't know.
How?
Because it has that stubby kind of feel to it that.
But they move exactly the same.
I would say that I can agree with you that maybe that one should have been a monstrous creature, but I feel like it's a difficult one. Maybe they should have made up a new class like exosuit or something like that.
Yeah,
well, they have cavalry / beast running at the same stat line, so couldn't they essentially just have monstrous creature and put / demon engine or something / something that will just make it fit fluff wise
/ exosuit /
suit.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't really have a problem with it, because when I see it I just know that's a monstrous creature. But I mean, I was versing a game with Seb when I was playing Tau, and I had a Riptide, and he's like, what's the armor on that? And I'm like, well, it's a monstrous creature, it has a toughness value.
Yeah, well, I reckon if they retitle it, you might be able to pick it a little bit easier. If they did have another class where like a walker.
Right. Monstrous walker. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't think that the the armor system would work for models like the Dread Knight, the Riptide, and all that. It just, they kind of Yeah, that's the way I see them. They seem more of a monstrous creature, rules wise. And then it's like, how do you define a monstrous creature? Does it have to be biological?
Well, up to the Dread Knight, it has been like an actual creature of some sort.
But like, let's say someone has like an Iron Warrior's like Demon Prince, and they have it like half mechanical and stuff like that. You know, it's like, it's. Let's actually define a monstrous creature.
I don't know. Let's have a look. See.
Some creatures are just too big to fit into the ordinary infantry unit category. These are towering giants that are capable of crushing a tank, like the Tyrannid Carnifex, a creature bioengineered and evolved to become a living battering ram. While monstrous creatures use many of the infantry rules, their size and destructive capabilities make them a lot more dangerous.
See, so the example in words is a Tyrannid Carnifex, and then the picture they have is a Demon Prince.
Yeah, but it also mentions that they are like basically giant infantry. So you look at a Terminator, he's infantry, and then he gets into a Dread Knight. Now he's a giant infantry. He's a giant Terminator.
Yeah, a Space Marine dies, gets put into a Dreadnought body.
No, he's
a
no,
giant
he
infantry.
doesn't. No, he's a torso, sitting in a robot,
Yeah,
enclosed in a robot.
yeah, and there's a
How do you
pilot
penetrate a Dread Knight when there's really nothing there? It's just a suit around him. You
Yeah, but
penetrate.
you'd think they would have made the rules before they made the model.
What?
Wait, I said that way wrong. Like, you think they would have had like an idea of the rules and of the model? Like, if they really wanted to make it a walker, they could have changed the model.
I guess, but the whole idea of the Dread Knight, at least, is that a greater demon comes out of whatever, that there's a greater demon on the battlefield. A normal Terminator can't fight him, so he jumps into this suit and he can fight a greater demon. And I think that, so it's monstrous creature on monstrous creature, whereas if you made it a vehicle, like a walker, you go up to this monstrous creature and they roll, they'll destroy you. A monstrous creature will tear apart a walker in close combat. I mean, do you actually have a problem with it rules-wise, or is it just the fact that it says monstrous creature?
More so just the fact that it says monstrous creature.
So if monstrous creature just said, like, big infantry, would you be more happy?
A little bit. But then it's...
Like, do you actually have a problem rules-wise that...
Well, he's attached to a vehicle. Like, that's what I mean. He's attached to a vehicle, so...
I don't really see it as a vehicle, though. It's like a giant suit of power armor. You have your guy in it. It's got it's got gears and stuff on it, so he moves, and it kind of the engine just powers the suit where he wants to move. Plus, with things designed to take on, demon monstrous creatures, if it was a walker, like I said, it would just get flattened. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, in the 6th edition rules.
In the 5th edition rules, too. Why would it not get
it has...
flattened in the 5th edition rules?
Well, I'm saying that the 6th edition rules lend a hand to it more.
Are they getting flattened if it was a walker?
Yeah. Because you get, like, your Hammer of Wrath, and you can halve your attacks and double your strength and stuff.
Well, in the last one, it was just 2d6 to penetrate. That seems worse to me. Well, I think it's still that now, but yeah, it's 2d6 to penetrate. If you had a Dread Knight rocking up with 11, 12 front armor, and then you have your monstrous creature at 10, 2d6 to penetrate, it would drop it in the first round of combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go then. No, going back to how we read out the monstrous creature thing, right?
Yeah.
So in the walkers one, your walkers are an unusual type of vehicle. Instead of wheels or tracks, they have mechanical limbs that allow them to stride forwards, plowing through densely packed terrain with ease in order to bring their weapons to bear. So, a Dread Knight has mechanical limbs, correct?
I guess so, yeah. But it's also an infantry guy.
There's an infantry guy controlling it.
He is the infantry guy. If you take him out, the suit doesn't even it's not even running. It's just he gets into it, he moves, the engines move the suit with him, so he can actually move it.
Yeah, if you take the crew out of a Rhino, it doesn't move anywhere, but it's still a vehicle.
It's still turned on. It's still running. They're not.
It's still a vehicle. You could leave the suit turned on.
It's. I don't know. I think you're missing the point.
How?
It's just you're stuck up on it. Just it's saying monstrous creature. That's the stupidest thing to be stuck up on about those rules. It's like, why would you make it a walker? It would ruin it. Like, it just would not work as a walker.
Well, then make a new unit type.
Why make a new one when it works as a monstrous creature?
Because it doesn't make sense as a monstrous creature. The description for a walker matches the Dread Knight.
I would say that it would also match as a monstrous creature.
I think they really just need that slash that just says like slash.
Well, why not have monstrous walker?
Because then it's still a vehicle, and you're still going to have that vehicle things. What's going to change from a walker to a monstrous walker?
I don't know. They could make that up themselves.
So you'll complain, but you're not going to offer anything to.
Well, I offered a monstrous walker.
But there's no reason for it.
Well,
it works as a monstrous creature. There's no reason to change it.
There is reason to change it.
There's a reason to change it because some people don't like the fact that I say, "Oh, he's a monstrous creature." They would rather me say, "Oh, he's a." It doesn't change the rules. If the rules are fine, and it's just a word.
When you're playing against someone and they ask what its armor is, and that clearly says something there.
It's okay. Now we go to a crisis suit. What's the difference between a crisis suit normally and then a Riptide? It's still a person inside it. It's just one's bigger than the other. It just goes from an infantry to a monstrous creature because the suit got bigger. I don't know. It's a stupid argument that we're never ever going to agree on.
No, because we're never going to see each other's point of view.
I see your point of view in changing the name. I just don't, because that's your point, right? That you want the name changed. Because you said that you don't care about the rules. The rules are fine. They suit it, right?
Yeah.
So I
I'm not
get
going to say that the rules are fine, but
okay. Well, then what's wrong with the rules?
No. I'm just going to stop talking because it's just not going to. We're never going to finish this episode.
Okay. Choose. You want to put a final thing on that?
I reckon it just needs the slash. It can still run on the monstrous creature rules. We don't need more rules. The rulebook's already a novel. So, I think slash whatever, a vehicle.
I would call the rulebook more of a dictionary.
But yeah, apart from that, it's just like a little confusion, but oh well. As soon as it's as soon as it's been there for a long enough time, people will start to realize that it doesn't have an armor value, and it's not ideal, but eventually it'll work out, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it's been there for a long time. I mean, when Seb asked if it had an armor value, I mean, he's been playing for all of a couple months, so it's
Yeah.
But he has played before.
before I don't think he has. I think he's just
Oh.
collected and painted. I don't think he's actually played games.
Okay.
And the Riptide is a pretty new thing. I mean, it's yeah, it I can see them being. I think if they did change the rules, which I don't think they need to, but if they did, they would just need to make walkers a little bit better in close combat. I think that's the main problem, is that a walker usually is a shooting kind of thing. Maybe your dreadnoughts, but even then,
I don't know. It's just one of them things that Games Workshop always does, where it's just there's always going to be one person saying one thing, one person saying another. Ugh.
yeah.
Yep.
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 You wanna
Okay.
change a topic to something like not 40k related for the last
Yes.
few minutes of the thing?
Yeah, we go talk about our hordes.
And War Machine, you asshole.
Yeah, Cogs
Fuck,
and
can't
Steam,
agree.
baby.
Can't agree with anything with me. No.
Hey, we can agree on Cogs and Steam.
Cogs and Steam, baby. Cogs and Steam.
Yeah. Now this is the part where we shun Cheese because
Because he
he's a
doesn't have
non-play-
any War Machine.
non-believer.
Right.
Yeah. So
Shun.
so obviously, like our first episode, we got a lot of 40k talking about, and again, this show's mostly going to be 40k, but we do want to kind of branch out into every war game. I mean, we are Battle Bros on every battlefield, so we're Battle Bros unless we have to fight alongside a monstrous walker creature.
Yeah.
Then fuck you. So you want to explain your War Machine army?
You mean my Hordes army?
Yeah, your Hordes army.
Get it fucking right. No. Well, I got Troll Bloods. I started with the Battle Box, and then about a week ago now, I bought the Pyre Troll, which I've got painted up. I just need to base it. Some sluggers? No, scattergunners.
No,
I
I
don't
think
know,
that's
one of-
sluggers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're sluggers. Yeah, they're sluggers. And some whelps to add onto it. So now I'm at 25 points. And I'm going to keep it at that until it's all painted up.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And then once we're finished painted, we can either go into a new army or get some more stuff.
Yeah, well, the hardest part I'm finding now is trying to plug up the slit in the middle of the bases. I need to go get some green stuff. I just haven't got around to doing it yet.
Yeah, what I did with mine is people have probably already seen it, but I got like the popsicle sticks on the bases to kind of make it look like trench terrain.
Yeah, I was going to try and do that, but it just didn't really fit.
So you want to kind of say about maybe like some tactics of your army or something like that?
Oh, I'm not too familiar with it yet, but so far the Impalers seem to be pretty crazy for like the starter box.
Yeah, I
So-
was surprised at how good the Impalers were.
Yeah, our first game we had was just our starter boxes against each other, and those Impalers took down one jack in what 2 turns?
Yeah, it was something like that. Maybe
Yeah,
next episode we'll do a starter box game.
Yeah. Yeah, the impalers are pretty good. I haven't really got much use out of the sluggers yet. Their guns are definitely strong though.
Yeah, the
It's just the
problem
game.
that you had was what you were fighting.
Yeah, I couldn't. What are they? The not the rangers. The
Black 13th.
yeah, they were in terrain, so they got like a.
Yeah,
Is it
stealth.
just in terrain?
It's in concealment terrain, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so I could only be in range of them with 5 inches of.
Yeah,
Make a noise, would you?
I know. Fuck. Yeah. So then my army is Signar. Now the reason why I went Signar is not necessarily because I like the look of them. I mean, I do. But it was mostly because I got a Adepticon swag bag sent to me, and it actually came with a free starter. And I didn't really do anything with it until we're like, you know what, we should probably do something else for Battle Bros rather than just, 40k.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then, so I went from the starter kit, and I got my local store was having a sale, so I got some ranges because it was really the only Signar thing they had, and picked up some ranges. Don't know if I like them too much. They do seem to they don't really seem to do anything. They just kind of sat around in terrain all day.
God.
Because I feel like they're gonna die if I don't put them in terrain. But then if I put them in terrain, they have to be able to be in range of things, and stuff in War Machine doesn't really have that long a range.
No.
Which any 40k player is going to realize very quickly.
Yeah.
But I mean, my range is 10 inches.
Yeah.
So, and then I got the Black 13th gun mages, which I like them because I like the look of them over the other gun mages. And then when I used them, I realized, oh wow, I've really stumbled onto something awesome here. Like they're an awesome unit. They can take down anything basically. They're a little bit fragile if you actually hit him, but apart from that. And then I got Victor Pendrake because obviously I'm versing Savage and his hordes, so I do need some sort of beast slaying help. So I got him, and he's pretty useless against anything rather than a war beast because he just has a lot of bonuses against him. And yeah, so and that's basically my army, I think. What else? Oh, and I got a journeyman warcaster because I realized how good ranged warjacks are, like my charger. So I'm like, you know what would be cool if I had like a journeyman warcaster to kind of just handle that, so he can move away from my main force and kind of just snipe at things that I don't want to live anymore. So that was kind of the idea with that. Cheese, you still with us there?
Yo.
What are your thoughts on War Machine? Like, I mean, you haven't played before, but
I don't know too much on it, but like it seems good. I've seen a couple of Savage's models, and like for what they have, they seem pretty good. I actually like the base system a lot better than Games Workshop ones because it actually has that like rounded edge, so you can kind of define the terrain a little bit easier.
yeah, and it's kind of got like the lip in the base as well.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
what I did, I put some water effects, and it didn't just splash everywhere.
Yeah. So I really like that aspect of it. So like I've only really known the modeling side of it rather than the gameplay, but from what I've seen, it looks good.
You think
Yeah.
you'd ever be interested in getting some models? If
Yeah. Like in time, I'm still like
when you got some spare cash lying around.
yeah, and time.
Yeah.
'Cause, like even getting one complete army is taking me a couple years.
Yeah.
That's the
Paint
beauty
and
of
everything.
that's the beauty of like Warmer Hordes though, is that like the starter box I had pretty much 3/4 of it painted up, and that's a complete army. It's 4 models, so
Yeah.
it's really easy. Like
Yeah.
especially like me, because I'm working 38 hours a week. so I don't have as much time to spend on stuff except for my weekends. So yeah, it's definitely, I find it's a lot easier to get a complete army a lot quicker
Yeah.
than
I mean, you could play huge points limits and stuff.
yeah.
And like crazy sizes, but I found like, we play 40k for our big games. We can just play War Machine and Hordes when we feel like having a little skirmish kind of game. And I think next episode we should do that. We'll have our starter kits and just have a little game going while we talk. And
Yeah.
then people can see that. And yeah, so Cheese, if you did pick, would it be War Machine or Hordes?
Probably hordes. Just like for the whole, because they're more of a creature type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Instead
I
of the
don't know,
big
maybe-
steam-powered robot-looking guys, you have war beasts.
Yeah. I'd probably prefer the war beasts and hopefully try and put like a little conversion edge on them.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder to convert because a lot of them are metal.
Yeah.
You can still do it. Yeah, I honestly think I like Hordes better too. Just because I like the way that the Fury works over the Focus. Because the way like Focus works, you have X amount of focus that you can use a turn. The way Fury works is that you can basically max out on everyone's Fury. You're gonna have trouble next turn because you have way too much Fury and your guys are gonna start getting angry. But you have the option. Like, you don't really have the option as a War Machine player to just max out and just go crazy on focus, and I think I like that a bit better. Although I do like this the steampunk kind of feel of War Machine. So I like all of them honestly, and it was tough deciding, and kind of fate just decided what army I should go for me by giving me a free one. So
That's what I find with War Machine is it's a lot harder to pick an army because there's more, I don't say more options, but they're not as similar as one another. Like,
Yeah.
whereas you look at 40k and half of the armies are
Space
power
Marines,
armor,
yeah.
whereas you've just got more of a variety of different things. I think that's where Hordes kind of comes in as well, is you've just got all these different creatures. Even the like War Machine, the Jacks and stuff, they're all the same kind of like build, I guess,
Yeah.
but each army has their own individual touch to it, so they still look completely different.
Yeah,
Even
like
though
a
they're the
Blood
same
Angel's
thing.
Rhino is going to look exactly the same as a Ultramarine Rhino. It's just painted red.
Yeah.
It's then the thing I like the most, I think, is that it's always kind of updating, whereas like 40k gets stale very quickly because you have your release, your codex gets updated. Awesome, you got a new codex. Well, have fun with that because you're not getting anything new for that army in a long time. You're looking at 5 years maybe before you get anything new. Maybe if you're lucky, they'll add a new unit at like if flyers come out. Maybe if you're lucky, they'll give you a flyer, but you're pretty much
If you are
done
lucky.
at that. Whereas like War Machine and Hordes, they're releasing new models and everything all the time. You don't have to wait for your army to get updated before you get a new model.
I think that definitely, like, the cards definitely come into play with that as well. It's because they're not having to update a whole book.
Yeah, I mean, Games Workshop has done that with the White Dwarf. They'll they will. What am I trying to say? They'll put the stats in the White Dwarf,
Yeah.
but the cards would be cool. I would like it if every time I brought a Games Workshop model, I got the stats for it too.
Yeah. Because Warhammer Horde still gives you the option to buy your army book, which gives you the stats for everything in that army.
It also gives you an option to buy the deck of cards as well.
I do.
Yeah, you can buy all the cards at once as well. I did that with my one. My old Legion of Everblight.
Oh yeah.
Which that's pretty good. So they give you the option.
Yeah. But we're comparing a lot between Games Workshop and Privateer Press, but I find that they're two completely different things. Still, like they're the same in the fact that they're a turn-based
Yeah.
board game.
War
kind of
game,
thing.
yeah, tabletop war game.
Yeah, but other than that, they're completely different. Like the systems are just that different that you really can't compare much about them.
Yeah, I mean you can always compare to Games Workshop and 40k and all that because they're like the big, it thing.
Yeah,
like pretty much everyone that's probably played War Machine has probably at least played 40k at some point.
Yeah.
And it's so you're always going to be able to link comparisons to it, but yeah, they're two different games completely. There's really no one's really copying anyone because they're just so different.
Yeah.
And it's good. It definitely gives us a break. But yeah, we're coming at the hour and 6-minute mark, so we'll start wrapping up here, and hopefully we'll be a bit more organized next week or next fortnight or whenever we plan to do the next episode. So we hope you guys enjoyed painting, modeling, hobbying with us this morning or whenever you're watching this video. So yeah, you guys want to say anything before we head off? Got anything planned that you're going to be posting on the blog or on your own blog or anything?
I may get some work done on the Thousand Suns. Some more painting, I guess.
Yeah.
Other than that, probably not much. Maybe do some more work on the Hordes. Just haven't painted them in a little while.
Cheese, anything?
Hopefully this Dreadnought, if I can... I've actually lost, like, one of the knee pads for it, so I'm trying to make another one out of a shield, but if I get this
spare ones.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that makes 20 minutes of carving a shield pointless.
Well, it gave you something to do.
So...
but yeah, I'll be posting, I guess, my Dreadnought, and hopefully get around to making that other land speeder with wheels, but...
I really liked that. It looked cool.
Is it still just a base at the moment?
The second one is still a base.
Yeah.
But yeah. So hopefully I'll post some more.
Okay. So once again, we'd like to thank the winner of our competition, Eternal High Fives for All. We'll be getting your models brought and getting that commission up and running at Toxic Painting. Thank everyone for watching. We have, if those of you who have missed it, we did the Hammer is being posted yesterday, and we also did our pilot episode of Time to Duel, which is Savage and I as we basically muck around in the Yu-Gi-Oh world kind of thing. We just we don't really know what we're doing, but we're making a show out of it anyway. Check out the Dice Troop blog, and also check out the Battle Bros blog, which we have on Tumblr, which is where we'll post stuff that isn't suitable for Dice Troop, or stuff that just we don't feel really warrants getting posted on Dice Troop. So you can see all our immature posting, all our posting on if we play a video game, maybe we'll record it. All that stuff will be on the Battle Bros blog, so we don't have to worry about putting it onto the Dice Troop one. Again, this show, although we are Battle Bros, the show is for Dice Troop, as you can see by the logo over here somewhere. So Dice Troop's non-profit. Although we do have a donate button on our blog that you can feel free to donate to if you wish. We thank everyone that has, and we thank everyone that will. Yeah. And like I said in the Hammer yesterday, that that donation just goes to keeping things like XSplit, which is the program we use to basically do our editing on the fly, and just any fees that are with keeping a stream going, and that's basically what it goes to. So yeah, once again, thank you guys. I've been Toxic, and with me has been Savage and Cheese.
Special thanks to Ben Bob for hanging around with us in the live stream.
Yeah, I if I'm not mistaken, that is Tonal High Fives for all. So yeah, I think so at least. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it you? Quick answer.
Is it true?
Where's the total high fives?
Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Peace out.
So yeah.